Well, a lot of women are going to listen to this, and some of them will go, "Well, that is such a refreshing point of view," and others are going to go, "Yeah, yeah, right."
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for tuning into our second act with Paige and Silka. Today's our expert segment day, and I'm so happy to welcome Alexandra Levin to our program today. Alexandra, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm really glad you're here. I've been wanting to talk to you by yourself. Alexandra she's actually been on Second Act before with her husband, Daryl Gurney. They are both the co-founders of the Back 40, the platform we've talked a lot about, dedicated to making your second half the best half of your life. Alexandra is professionally a executive coach, a development leader, and has applied lots of her skills from corporate to how it affects our personal life. One of which is a topic very close to our hearts, and that is wrinkles. We're going to bring all this together here in a minute. Alexandra, we had this conversation. You actually wrote a journal about it, that women, we do tend to get, and I put myself in the top of the list, upset and obsessed with our wrinkles. What do you have to say about that?
Well, you know what? It's interesting that we do, and we spend so much time and so much money trying to get rid of the wrinkles. And I have, for a decade at least, been hearing from friends and my mom, well, when are you going to do something about your wrinkles? And I just never wanted to. I never felt the desire to do anything about that. And then at one point I realized that I am actually in love with my wrinkles, because every single wrinkle stands for something that has allowed me to grow, that has created amazing memories or amazing life opportunities, amazing difference for my life or the life of my children. So it's part of who I am today, the integral part of who I am today, who I've become.
Well, a lot of women are going to listen to this, and some of them will go, "Well, that is such a refreshing point of view," and others are going to go, "Yeah, yeah, right." I think that's what your journal is about. How do you embrace it to where, let's face it, we're all aging. Yes, we are going to have wrinkles. And so instead of getting depressed about it, how do we approach that?
Well, one way to approach it is, what is it that we consider beautiful? Is only a 20-year-old wrinkleless woman beautiful? Or is a 50-year-old retouched face on a magazine beautiful? Or is a fully lived, fully loved, fully expressed face at any age, wrinkles or not, or gray hair or not, or whatever, is that beautiful? If I look at the wrinkles on my face as the expression of life, and as an expression of my life lived, and that's beautiful. And I think that's beautiful for every woman. If we look at it from that point, we'll look at it as an expression of well lived life and of self-love.
How did you come to that realization? I mean, you have an interesting life. I mean, you hear by your accent, you're Russian, and you have, well, you had a tough time there immigrating. Did that factor into how you feel about life and how it was captured on your face?
Absolutely everything. I came to that realization actually driving with Daryl through LA traffic on the way from my mom's, after hearing, you got to do something about that. And I just looked at my face and thinking, should I really? And then it just dawned on me, the whole thing just loaded. I don't want to. I'm actually in love with those wrinkles because, yes, every one of them stands for something. When I was 19, I ended up having to leave Russia on my own, being an only child of loving, doting parents. And I was told that I will never see my parents again, that I may never see my parents again. I sure have developed some wrinkles from that experience. And it was one of the most devastating experiences of my life, sitting in that plane, leaving Russia, not knowing if I'll ever see my parents again. I was a child at 19. And yet, out of that experience, I've really learned how strong I am and the power that I have over, thoughts or emotions or anything like that. It definitely set me up on a particular trajectory and a particular journey. And yes, it came with wrinkles, but I wouldn't give that up for anything.
Well, and we all have that story. Obviously, on the Back 40 on your platform, you talk about that the first half sets you up for what you really meant to do.
Exactly. And if we take, for me, I can speak for myself and I can speak to, those who are interested, of course, and everybody, it's a choice. And we're so blessed to be in a place where we can make choices. And this is just my choice. And yes, if we take everything we've learned, everything we got, every life situation as a lab experiment of sorts, and then use that and create what's next for us, it's a wealth of wisdom and it's a wealth of experience. Another kind of set of wrinkles I got about 5 years ago, 6 years ago or so, my 19-year-old daughter was set to travel to Israel. She'd been planning that for a while, and it was happening in the middle of the war. And more than half of the kids in her group decided to not go. And my entire family was telling me that if something happens to her, and you know what that something may mean, it's going to be my fault. And that as a mother, I have to forbid her and stop her from going. So a lot of soul searching, a lot of wondering, what am I to do? And in the end of the day, I decided that I wanted her to have the freedom that we fought so hard to have, and have a freedom of her own choice. And I told her that. And I told her that I'll support whatever she does. And she went to Israel, and it created a whole new life opportunities for her. It was the most amazing experience of her life. And yeah, wrinkles came with that soul searching and with her being there and, hoping, waiting for her to be back safe and sound. But was it worth it? Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just it's a very refreshing point of view. I like, being on camera all the time. You do. I get obsessed with it. I'm going to look at my wrinkles differently. I don't know if I'll stop the Botox altogether. But there is something about, the experience captured on your face. So something to think about. Alexandra, we are coming to the end of the segment. I know that you journaled about it. What is your journal called?
It's called the Imbue Journal, and it's available on Amazon, and it really guides women through their own process and their own journaling in falling in love with every part of them or whatever part of them. And it's not about what you do, whether you get things done on your face or not. It's it's how you feel about your wrinkles and how you look at them, and just the appreciation of yourself regardless of what you do with it.
Beauty from the inside out, which the external really doesn't mean much if the internal isn't there. I certainly agree with that. Alexandra, we will link to all your information to your journal if somebody wants to take a look at it and do some internal beauty exploration. And we will see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and Silka. Bye.